Good morning, traders. It's Carlo from Blueberry with a market breakdown and the week ahead for Monday, the 27th of July. Where are we right now? Well, it's the 23rd week at the US-Iran crisis continues. There has been talk this morning over the weekend that ceasefire talks may resume. There's no concrete evidence of that. However, the markets have been impacted on the open, with West Texas crude down 6%, trading at $85 US a barrel. Gold has pushed a bit higher, up 1.2% to $4,100 US dollars an ounce. Equity indices are higher across the board by a tune of 0.5%. And the US dollar is softer against most major currencies. Still elevated though, dollar yen trading 160.50. As mentioned, the US-Iranian crisis enters its 23rd week, but it's going to remain top of mind for traders this week, therefore impacting all products. I'd like to focus on the key events this week. There's plenty of data coming out. We don't have a big Friday, but the key data coming out this week is a few central banks are meeting and US second quarter earnings. This is one of the busiest weeks ahead. In terms of macro data, the data really ramps up on Wednesday. On Wednesday, we have the Aussie CPI data. Previous 4%, this is Q2 CPI. Expectations are for around 4%. Now, you may know that the Reserve Bank of Australia's target band is inflation to be between 2 and 3%. And they have mentioned that they're not happy with inflation well above their target band. So therefore, this may continue to impact the Aussie and the ASX 200. And so don't rule out, of course, a near-term rate hike by the RBA, perhaps in August or September. So that's very much on the cards. They've already hiked interest rates 3 times this year. Current cash rate, 4.35%. We move on to Thursday, the Federal Reserve's interest rate decision. Their current Fed funds rate is at 3.5 to 3.75% band. Expectations are for no change to that, although the bias is for perhaps possible rate hikes, and the US-Iranian war and recent escalation is not helping that cause. I mean, it is increasing the probability of rate hikes in the United States. So you have seen the US dollar strengthen, and that's put downward pressure on other currencies and commodities in general. Let's see what happens on Thursday at the FOMC decision and also comments after that. Thursday, we also see the Bank of England interest rate decision. Their cash rate is 3.75% as well. Key here, although consensus is for no change on this occasion, the key will be the split amongst the board members. How do they vote? How many vote for rates to stay on hold, and how many vote for a rate hike in the UK? And that's likely going to impact the pound sterling across other major currencies and the FTSE 100 equity index. Later on Thursday, we do have the core PC price index in the United States. Inflation on that measure still remaining around that 3.3, 3.4%, still quite high. Friday, we have Tokyo core CPI. Now, expectations are for a little move higher in inflation, 1.6 to 1.8%. But crucially, this will be followed by the Bank of Japan interest rate decision. Now, you may recall about a month and a half ago, the Bank of Japan did increase rates from 0.75% to 1%. That's where we are right now, 1%. And it's important to see what happens to the trend of inflation. If it does continue higher, if it is higher than expected, then we may see the Ministry of Finance and Bank of Japan talk about further rate hikes in Japan. Now, what did the last rate hike do to the Japanese yen? Not a lot, because the yen has continued to weaken across this year, but certainly across the last few months, because it's been a US dollar story. So it's important to see what they say, and also core CPI in Japan, and products in the spotlight will be the yen and also the Nikkei 225 equity index. On Friday, we have the Canadian GDP data. Market consensus is for a drop of only plus 0.1% growth for May. It's quite soft. So if it is softer than expected, you might see the Canadian dollar lose some ground, but that will certainly be in play. And throughout the week, I'd like to touch on US second quarter earnings. It is going to be one of the busiest periods and busy weeks for earnings. And you can see on Wednesday, after market close, you've got Microsoft and Meta reporting. Thursday, we'll see Apple and Amazon. And Friday, or tail part at the end of the week, we'll see Visa, MasterCard, BoE, ExxonMobil. These are some of the key companies reporting their second quarter earnings, and this will likely impact on those stocks, of course, but also US equity indices. So there you have it. That's a wrap. Plenty in store this week for traders. As always, good luck with your trading, and I'll see you in the next video.